Hey guys, Floopes 100 here. Today I'm going to be doing a review in honor of Horror Month, and this review is going to be about Corpse Party. Now, I really enjoy Corpse Party. Corpse Party started out as a PC game in 1998 when a group of people used the RPG Maker system to make the game. And the game was about a group of high school students and one teacher who performed the Sachiko Ever After charm, which transfers them to Heavenly Host, which is a school that shut down many years ago, like 30, 40 years ago, that was shut down thanks to many murders, just a lot of things, like murders, rape, molestation, things like that. And they start off, they're separated into different spaces, which are spaces like a few groups of students may occupy one space, and two other students occupy this other space. One student may occupy this other one. It's really space, and they're not touching each other. Like, you can't communicate with each other unless, I've seen at one point someone wrote on the desk and it did it, but other than that, you have very little communication. Now, you can eventually break the barrier, which they did, and I'll talk about that in a minute. First, there are a lot of characters. I'm just going to read off the names. I'm not going to worry about the last names. Satoshi, Naomi, Ayumi, Psycho, Yoshiki, Sakataro? I think I have his name. I know him more as Morishige. Sachiko, who is not part of the group of kids. She's actually a malevolent spirit who was believed to be innocent, but she actually was not. Mayu, who is the sister of Morishige, and Yuya Kazami, who is not part of their school place, and Miss Yui, who is their teacher. Miss Yui actually, and spoiler alert, there are people who died in this. Psycho died in Chapter 1. Naomi actually hung her. Thanks to the Heavenly Host taking her over in dark spirits, and it wasn't really Naomi's fault. I will say that. Mayu died in Chapter 2, thanks to the little children ghost who got really mad and upset because who was it? Yoshiki. Yeah, Yoshiki and Ayumi. Sorry, these names are kind of tripping me. But Ayumi were together, and this is Chapter 2. They were put together with Miss Yui, who actually got crushed in Chapter 2. She got crushed by a bookcase because this little, really evil, angry spirit attacked her because he was, so pissed off about teachers and, lying and all crap, and a teacher really did him wrong, and he was taking it out on her, which it wasn't her fault. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So Miss Yui got hurt. She was okay though until Chapter 4, I think, where she actually saved Ayumi from dying. Thank goodness. And Naomi actually lived. She found out at the end of Chapter 5 that she was responsible for Seiko's death in Chapter 1, and the dark spirits were trying to take over her, but Seiko actually saved her by communicating her through the cell phone, saying no hard feelings, no hard feelings, no hard feelings. So she kept doing it, telling her, I forgive you for killing me. It's not your fault. Seiko was a very happy-go-lucky person, and she actually was in love with Naomi, and would have loved to have been with her, kissed her and married her and all kinds of other stuff. She was very open with her sexuality. She didn't go around yelling it to the hallway, but it was kind of obvious she had a thing for Naomi, which is fine. But getting sidetracked. And then you also have Yuka, who was very there's nothing really to say about Yuka. Yuka is actually Satoshi, who is the main male protagonist's sister, and she didn't really play that big part of a story. I mean, she had her, a few things, but it wasn't that big. She was actually paired up with Kazami at one point in chapter 4, I think. Chapter 3 and chapter 4. Kazami is a kid from another school. Yes, there are other students from other schools in this place, and you actually find out that the Sachiko Ever After charm is what brought them there, thanks to this spirit. Well, actually, she was a person. She was a paranormal researcher who was in high school who told everyone to perform this ritual and brought them to Heavenly Host. Because I don't remember actually why she did it. I think it was an experiment or something. I can't remember. I think she just wanted to do it. But anyway, and then you have Sachiko, who is the spirit who was told to be like killed and kidnapped and everything, and she actually had nothing to do with like, she was not innocent at all. She killed the 4 children who were kidnapped at one point, and she killed them, and she's like the main female antagonist. She was grouped with the principal was behind the stuff. He was very annoying and angry and stuff and upset. Not really his, I mean, it was his fault, but his school was shut down thanks to these, rape, molestation, all this stuff, so yeah. Anyway, though, the game is very story-driven, and I mean very story-driven. Like, the main point of the game is to figure out what happened, who dies. The game is very unforgiving as far as there are unexpected deaths. You could, like, read something and it causes you to die. It's very unforgiving at that point. It's very, I mean, you have to save often, I would. Would you save at these candles? Thanks to a Yumi who sets them up, because she's a very cult obsessed person. She deals with the supernatural, and she sets them up as save points, but she, like, not like literal save points. She sets them up as like a beacon for the people who see them throughout the halls of Heavenly Host, and yeah. So anyway, Sachiko, they actually meet up with Sachiko, and they try to appease her spirit, and then they find out that they have to perform the Sachiko Ever After charm again, and do it by not only the amount of people there were to begin with, but also they have to chant Sachiko's name, which they didn't know. That's the correct way to do it. The person on the internet who told them how to do it told them to do it incorrectly on purpose. But anyway, they have to chant her name, and that's actually how they get home, and no one else remembers the people that died there except for them, which is actually really sad, because Naomi, I saw in Book of Shadows, is very torn out by Psycho, and, well, I'm not talking about that. I'm not getting into Book of Shadows, but yeah, the game is very story-driven, and I have to say that the music is very good. At times it's a little weird because it has like a strange beat to it whenever nothing like really creepy is happening, so I found that to be a little weird, but, it kind of fits. Then you also have some music. Gameplay's pretty good. I mean, nothing like, it's an RPG Maker kind of game where you have like sprites, and you interact with objects, you take object to point A to point B, and you don't, you run away from ghosts, because the ghosts touch you, you die, and it's actually a really good game, but, I'm just stating gameplay-wise. Lots of story in there. I mean, the story is, like, really great, and very, the story is what drives you to keep playing the game. Now, I do have to say that the game doesn't have a lot of replayability. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love going through the game for story events, but other than that, there's no like key gameplay feature that you go through the game again, something like Bioshock, Dead Space, etc., etc. But overall, very good. And yeah, music's really great. A little weird. Replayability, not very high. I would say moderate, maybe. Gameplay has some nice visuals. I mean, like little cutscenes and stuff. Not very big cutscenes, but lots of story, lots of dialogue. Pretty good though. I mean, it's a good game. Heavenly Host is definitely a creepy place to be. Ghosts, like, as far as like the detail put into the ghost and how they look, pretty nice. Sachiko is definitely decent looking, very creepy. Sachiko is very, very creepy. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. I mean, the game is very, very good, and I highly recommend it. Now, as an overall rating, I have to say that the game gets like a, I think you put like about 8 to 10 hours into it total, maybe. Also, you have extra chapters to go through, so I would count those to be like, yeah, about 10 to 12 maybe with those. Maybe. I'm saying maybe. But, yeah. Anyway, though, good game. Overall, I think I give it like a 7.5 because the game is actually really, really good and very story-driven, but the replay value is not very much, which kind of hurts it, honestly, because it's something you buy and then you play through and you may not touch it again for maybe a year or two or maybe even longer than that, which kind of sucks, but whatever. So anyway, though, 7.5. Tell me in the comments what you guys think about it. Like this video, subscribe to me, make sure to share my video. It helps me out as a small YouTuber, and I will catch all you guys later. Peace.